Yeehaw! Welcome back, everybody, to another round of Rush Racing League. It is round 3 at the land of the free and home of the Buckies as we get ready to take on our first ever sprint weekend of season 11. It's going to be a grand old rodeo here, and we got 2 rodeos for the price of 1 as we get ready to jump into qualifying for the sprint. It's going to be 2 qualifiers, 1 for the sprint, 1 for the Grand Prix, both short, and then we have 10 laps of racing in the sprint, 28 laps in the feature. So we're going to just see how this one is going to rock and roll. So my name is Patrick Coleman, aka Ruckus, and I will be one of your hosts and commentators, one of the Cowboys in the comms booth. And the other unfortunate soul that heard me do the thing that Chaz already told me never to do again, it is Noah Huney. Noah, how are you doing today, mate?
Good evening, Ruckus. Wow, that was quite the intro.
I told you that you were not prepared for the shenanigans I had.
I am hearing that lobby might be broken, so we might already have to restart this. I'm not sure what's going on, but we'll see if we can continue. But I'm doing great. How are you doing, Ruckus?
I mean, we're at one of my 3 home tracks, so I can't really complain too much. It is Austin, Texas, a track that has been used for quite a few different motorsports over the last couple of years. Formula One, MotoGP, WEC, you name it, it has been just used quite a bit. So, and rain for the feature is something I am hearing. And just gonna address some of the things in chat. We might have to do a lobby reset anyway, so give us a little bit of a podcast topic. Yeah, okay. So I'm seeing a lot of drivers leaving this session, so this might be red flagged. We'll keep you guys updated. Predictions, that's gonna be an interesting one. Yeah, I think a lobby restart is well and truly something that we're gonna have to go and do. So, in the meantime, I was saying that I wasn't sure when I was gonna put this in, but let's go on and talk about the overtakes of the week. If you guys want to see the overtakes of the week, they'll be posted on our socials. But we'll go ahead and just go through who actually did get the overtakes of the week. So, we're going to start things off with the Division 1 overtake of the week. And it belongs to Dwayne NetJ from Div 1 on lap 66. And I watched his overtake. I watched all these overtakes on the Instagram, and they are all some pretty good overtakes. So go ahead and check out our Instagram to see these overtakes. You will not regret it one bit. These are actually some pretty fiery moves. In Div 2, Winter on lap 32 in the Haas got his overtake of the week done. And then we also have the man who's in the comms box with me. Hey, I kind of know that guy. Oh god, that was even a stretch for me. But yeah, Noah Huni, Alpine TP got the lap 8 overtake of the week in Div 3. And then in Div 4, it was Jakudig. And I feel like I butchered that pronunciation. I do apologize. But ladies and gentlemen, those were your overtakes of the week. I do think the session is it's pretty much red flagged. So I actually don't have a red flag graphic. So we're gonna just throw it back to starting soon, and we'll be back here when we get back into the session. Drivers, we are back. Everything has been fixed. We should be loading back into the session here pretty shortly. So, we are back here ready to kick off this rodeo for realsies this time as we get ready for our first sprint of the season. We've already been through some very memorable Grand Prix. We went to Abu Dhabi to kick things off, and then we had Sao Paulo, Brazil last week for our first 100% race of the season. And yeah, I did see that there was no yeehaws, unfortunately, but don't worry, the yeehaw will not be coming back. Maybe. I make no promises of the sort. But in the comms booth, it'll be myself, Patrick Coleman, aka Rekus, alongside Noah Huney, Alpine team principal. So we're gonna just go ahead and just wait and see. Hopefully we don't have to red flag the session again. We do have 20 drivers on the track. And hopefully this time it is all gravy, and it looks like it is. So we're going to take y'all trackside. And there we go. There is the beautiful Circuit of the Americas. So, also, I do want to point out something that I saw in the chat. I do love how we are getting karaoke with we're getting Rickroll karaoke in the chat, and it is the most beautiful thing I've seen in this Twitch chat in some time. But now that we are actually on track for realsies this time, Noah, what are your thoughts about this track?
I do like it. It's quite a good circuit. I love the. It is quite a technical circuit. Love the fast, flowy corners, especially in that first sector. So yeah, I think that's just the main thing. Just love those fast corners. You just feel how the car flows with the track. It's really nice.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of this track. I mean, it's got a little bit of everything, you know. It could be a pretty decent testing venue because you do have some high, low speed, and medium speed corners, and then you got some really good straights as well. So, I mean, you could probably do some pretty good testing around here. Um, and this should be a good one, especially now that I'm hearing that it's supposed to be wet for both the sprint and the feature race, is now what I'm hearing. So, that could be fun. We're going to run through our grid real quick. We do have Winter, Zombie, Symphonic, Bailey, Lachlan, Daniel Rocks, and then Fat Cat Batman Jr., aka Ryan Adair, aka XD Lamb. And then we have Webba, Terrence, Dito, Aiden rating, Katusha, Andre, Kazuto, Jono, Swith, Zops, The Big Level, Kenworth, Sick Party, I'm not reading that name on Twitch, and then Jades, and then Mick Jeremy, aka Meowsy. So, the reigning Div 1 champion jumping in tonight once again with Red Bull. And we're going to see what he can do here. Daniel is currently on a lap now. One of the American cars on the American track. We'll see what the Haas can do.
Yes. Sorry about that. Moving on to Daniel Roxu in on that back straight in the middle sector, it burns down all that battery. There's a bit of a yellow flag way up ahead in the final sector. Cuts the corner beautifully, keeps it nice and stable. Keeps it not burning too much battery, just saving that battery for now. He keeps it nice and tight through the next couple of very tight hairpins there. Now through the next couple right, the double right-hander going through now, having that 20% battery, 15% now. Um, Going now onto into the final corner. Doesn't cut that as much as he probably wanted to, but he burns down to the line. It is a 1:33.9 as your provisional or banker lap, if you want to call it.
Yeah, so Sick Party does need an invite. We'll have to try to get him in when we can. But Yeah, it's gonna be. I like this track. It's fun. It's fast. It's furious. I mean, it's also kind of like a mechanical bull in a sense. And I know I'm throwing a lot of the cowboy puns there, but hey, it's one of my home tracks. I can get away with it. I have the pun stick, but yeah, the thing about this track is it will kind of treat you like a mechanical bull. It will throw you all around, and if you're not careful, it can throw you right off into one of the runoff areas. So coming now through the Lone Star S's is Weber, who did 2 outlaps, and now he's coming through the Lone Star S's. And we're going to see how this one is going to go. He's improving quite a bit. He is a second up in Sector 1, but he still needs to find quite a bit of time because he is currently 7.4 seconds down now. Zops actually jumps to the top of the timetables. Now, this is sprint quality, so um, actually, I think since it's only short quality, I think you have free reign of tires because normally if it was a full sprint quality, you'd have to do mediums in SQ1, mediums in SQ2, and then softs in SQ3. But I think since it's only one sprint quality, I think you get free reign of which tires you want to use. Webber's making his way through. He's up 1.3 seconds, but he's still down quite a bit in comparison to a lot of these other drivers. So, a bit of a snap there coming through. And we did get Sick Party back into the session as Webber is going to continue to make his way through. He's got one more corner left to go, and this is a corner that, almost like turn 10 Austria, can really grab you for track limits if you're not careful. Webber is now just 1.8 tenths of a second back from his teammate up at the front, and that is a much more representative lap here in sprint quali. And actually, bringing up tires is actually a interesting thing that we can do here because Kazuto's on the soft. Everybody's gonna run their bankers on the mediums, and then they're gonna try to jump onto the softs for the main quali or their actual big run. So Big Jammy, a 131.826 time to beat now. Um, there are some slow moving cars in Sector 2 right along the Rodeo Drive. And is ready now. We'll go ahead and begin a flyer as well. So far we're seeing a pretty decent time. Sometimes are a bit off the mark, but you also know there is a bit of a tire differential going on here in SQ1. When we do get to the main qualifier, it's going to be softs pretty much all the way through. But in sprint quality, a lot, a lot of drivers actually like to use the mediums and just save the extra softs for either the sprint or a different race entirely. So adds a little extra element of strategy as well as extra chance to get points.
Yes. Yes, obviously this sprint does only offer the top 8 compared to our usual point system, which is the top 15. So quite marginal. So points are very, very key. Or qualifying is very key here. Qualifying in that top 8 to top 10 range to see if you can get a good start off the line on, I would imagine, the medium compound tire for most, if not all those drivers. So be good. Obviously, you've got a couple of drivers there. You've got Stick Party and Jade's 95 there. Two drivers who have not get on the track and set a banker lap. But we do have Aiden there. He's on a bit of a low fuel mode, so I don't know if he'll actually finish this lap or not. He will be. He will know. He will be coming into the pit. So I'm lucky that he can't get a lap time in. But he'll be going. I would imagine he'll be going on those softs right about now. As we got a few. I believe is you've got if I can find them. Yep, Bailey also knows popped up there on an out lap at the minute on those soft campaign tires. So we'll see what he does as him and Terrence the only two drivers. Oh sorry, popped up the only one out on those soft tires at the minute is Katusha. Has just come out. So we'll see as more and more drivers are making their way out on those soft campaign tires. We'll see what kind of lap times they will be setting.
Yeah, we'll just have to kind of see what times they will be setting now that they are getting ready to run onto the softs. It's about to become rush hour here for one of two times in today's action. We do have another qualifying session after the sprint. So it's going to be a very action-packed day of racing here, ladies and gentlemen. You have definitely come to the right place. If you love Cota, if you love the United States Grand Prix, I mean, what's not to love about Cota? It pretty much has everything. It's got pretty much every kind of corner you would love to have. You got some S's, you got some hairpins, some massive sweepers, you got a massive straight. The only thing I don't know that we have is copious amounts of ranch. So sorry, Europeans. I don't know if we have a copious amount of ranch here at the circuit for you guys to try to smuggle back through TSA. But all jokes aside, it is going to be a very interesting quality. Bailey does actually burn up a lot of that battery through sector 1, and now he's going to try to recharge it using a little bit of it, but you really want some battery for that humongous straight that I have nicknamed Rodeo Drive. So here we go. He's going to go ahead and just burn it down. Yeah, he just ran out of battery pretty early on. Because you can push up to about 340 kilometers on that straight. On pretty much a lot of the longer straights, depending on your battery deployment strategy, you can push it to about 340 kilometers. So you really gotta just push it. But management has got to be such a key factor in this one. And I mean, this is a track where management seems to be kind of 50-50. I haven't actually raced on this track in this car yet, so I can't really say for certain, but it does give the feeling that battery management is not as hard as it is at some tracks, but it is easier. I mean, it's easier than Jeddah. Jeddah is a tough one. It's better than Suzuka. Some other tracks are really energy starved, but Jades is going to be on a lap as well as Sick Party. So the only or two out of the three drivers who have yet to set a lap time here in the closing stages of sprint quali. And here we go. Kazuto actually opting to stick with a medium for now. So we'll see here as they go through. So far, majority of the drivers have set their best times on the mediums, the only exceptions being Bailey and Kazuto. So we're going to just see how the rest of quali does pan out. Jade's making their way through Sector 3, making some pretty decent inroads. And we'll see how this one is. We'll see how this one wraps up as we wrap up our sprint qualifier. Time is up, but everybody is still out. So the big level will not make a big step forward. What about Jade's? What about the Alpine? Can he make a good move? Up to P5. I would say that's a pretty good move. As
I'll
uh,
take that.
yeah, there you go. And Jono
Oh,
jumps to provisional pole, 64 milliseconds ahead of McJammy. And we'll see how the rest of the field does kind of pan out here. There is an Audi crossing the line, and that is going to be Sick Party, who does make his way up in 12th. So quite a few more cars coming across the line. Orion Adair just does jump up to the top of the table. Fat Cat Batman Jr., which is still a pretty funny name, I'm not going to lie. I heard it actually baited somebody in a social race or something where they thought it was actually Fat Cat, and it was Ryan Adair just being a bit of a troll. Actually, both siblings are having a bit of fun with the usernames tonight. I mean, we got Fat Cat Batman Jr., and then a name I still refuse to say on Twitch. It's a funny name. I can say it off broadcast, but I feel like that is a horrible idea to say it on the broadcast. So, and what is Aiden doing? Um,
oh,
mate,
oh. What have I just,
what was?
what have I just seen? What?
I'm
Oh
asking the
my
same
goodness.
thing. Hopefully that
Just got the
Cadillac
crap.
wasn't on a lap because that lap just got thrown into the bin. Um,
Let's hope as he's put himself dead last. But your sprint qualifying grid will be Zops from Miazi from Lamb. Jono then popped up, then Jade's, Weber, Katusha, Lachlan, Swift, Dado, Terrence, Winter, Andre, Kazuto, Daniel Rocks, Symphonic, Kenworth, Zombie, Sick Party, Lever, and last but not least, Aiden is Raiden, who did not get a lap in.
Okay, so quite a few invalid lap times. Yeah, so no in-game punishment for basically moonwalking down the start finish line. Um, but SQ1 is under investigation for probably for Aiden's Raiden. Probably, if I were to make any guess, that's probably gonna be it. And I think we need to fire the meteorologist. Whoever said there's gonna be rain in the sprint, you're fired. I'm just firing the meteorologist on that one. So, although I think it was actually originally going to be just in the feature race, like our actual 28 lap Grand Prix, that we are going to be having a wet race. So, we'll see.
I think maybe for the future, we'll see. Hopefully, a little bit of rain would be good to see that. Obviously, with the whole hot lap bug glitch thing being patched, and we are now able to run dynamic races. So hopefully, it's very rare, but obviously always the case to where we might see into this full wet. So yeah.
Yeah, and actually, so they fixed that glitch, right? And they also fixed the glitch from a couple of updates ago when the telemetry would stay on. But anyways, we'll get back to glitches later. We're gonna focus on the race, and it is lights out and away we go here for the sprint rodeo as we are migrating host. And okay, I don't know what just happened. I think the session just crashed on my end. Um,
Is that enough chicken or do you want more? It crashed on my end too.
oh boy.
I know, but is that enough chicken or do you want
Shenanigans.
Right. One is enough or both of these? Lovely.
All right. It crashed on Noah's end. It looks like it crashed on my end as well. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Jono had to restart his game because I just got a notification that he got back on F1. So, we're gonna take a step back and we'll be back.
You want to go inside and let's play.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We are back here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your patience. So here's the gist. Here's how things are gonna go. It's gonna be the sprint. The sprint will use the sprint quality results, and then everybody's gonna go ahead and retire from the feature, and then it's gonna be a one-shot quality for the feature race. So that is gonna be the plan. We'll keep you guys updated if any further developments go through. Ada's Raiden is still going to be under investigation for the sprint quality moment. We'll let you guys know what happens on that front. But otherwise, it is myself, Patrick Ullman, aka Rackes, alongside Noah Huni, the Alpine team principal. So we're going to go to get ready to go for racing action here in the Circuit of the Americas, one of the best tracks on the calendar, one of my three home tracks. I feel a little spoiled getting three, but a track that's been used for World Endurance, MotoGP, and of course Formula One, as well as there's a shortened version that is used for NASCAR. So very, very popular venue. I think GT America or GT World Challenge America also uses this venue, but I'd have to double check that one. But anyways, here we go. We have those 5 red lights coming up on the gantry. And for realsies this time, it is lights out and away we go. It is time to see how these drivers go through. And it is going to be Zops going ahead and getting the lead, but a lot of cars are having a lot of trouble through Phil Hill as they now make their way down into the Lone Star S's. It is so mesmerizing watching 22 cars just go ahead and just slide on through. But take a look at the tires. Everybody except Terrence is on the mediums. Terrence is running the hard compound. 10 laps here in the sprint. Noah, what is your prediction here?
I mean, Zop's got a very good getaway there. He is leading almost about 6 tenths now, so I think he will have this very clear in the bag. See Jono angrily behind in that Williams, chasing for that lead. You've got Lamb, and then you've got such a close grid. There's the other McLaren there, Weber maybe looking down the inside there, but you do have Swift and Winter there battling for that P10 position. Obviously, there's not going to be points for them just as yet. Katusha there running in 8th. That is the last points position given in tonight's sprint. Ooh. But yeah, I think Zops will run away with this, maybe.
Maybe we'll have to see, but between Sick Party and Terrence, they were absolutely scrapping it out here through the lower region of the points. Terrence on those hard tires. I know he gets forced a bit wide there by the big Levo, getting his elbows out, trying to just force him to go wide. Some very good battles here at Texas right now. They say everything is bigger in Texas, and I think the bigger battles are definitely going to be a thing here.
There's
Oh yeah, I see.
quite the
There's
incident.
the
Turn one there between Kazuto and I think that was
Andre.
Andre, perhaps?
Yeah, looks.
Yes, I think it was. Uh,
Just gonna say, yeah, look, definitely looks like Andre was definitely involved in that. The Cadillac driver dropping well down the order now, down into P22nd. Unfortunately, but the other Cadillac is having a little bit of a better time of things, but he's still outside of the points-paying positions for the sprint. But we do have a feature race coming up later, and it's a one-shot quality, which will make things very interesting. Lachlan in winter trade positions here, as Aiden is right and does get past Sick Party. And Jono actually does get the sprint lead off of Zops. So we'll see. We'll just see how the battle does continue. Williams right now are still leading the overalls. So despite a very good week for some teams, Williams still on the top of the pile. So is the I think it's like a 3 or 4 season rebuild of Williams that Dito's had to undergo. I think it was actually starting in season 9, I want to say. So the 3 season rebuild might actually bring him to the overalls. They are currently, just taking a look at things, they're exactly 20 points ahead of Ferrari in the overalls after last week in Brazil. So a few positional changes comparative to last week, but it is still a very early season. Just like we're still very early on in the sprint race, as Terrence has been disconnected. So, wow, Noah goes ahead and gets that going. Jade's now trying to fight with Katusha for P7. This is for the final 2 points paying positions in the sprint, as the Alpine will go ahead and try to push forward. Terrence will drop down now to the back after getting disconnected. So I know it's been a tricky day in the office for the Red Bull. Red Bull currently sitting 10th in the overalls, just ahead of Alpine by about 12 points. So these are two teams that really are going to want a big turnaround. So we'll just see how this goes. And it's kind of been a curse, actually, in the last couple of seasons. I don't think any team has really successfully. Oh, and it's a spin from Jades. A little bit of contact there. And he resets the track. That is likely going to end up under investigation because that is a no-no. Very, very unfortunate. Oh boy, Daniel Rock's now dropping down the order as well. Not sure if that was due to a spin or no. I think that he's just fighting. He's just fighting for position. So, I mean, you do have a pretty hefty gaggle of cars as they continue on through. It is still Zops and Jono fighting at the front, and you do have Mick Jeremy right there in the midst. But so far, it's up front. It's been a pretty tame sprint, but in the back and towards the middle of the pack here, Noah, it has been very hectic.
yes, I'm sorry, but I was just sending in right to Terence, but it's very unfortunate to what happened there to Jades to let him fall so far down the order. Very sad to see that. Hopefully they can recover. It'd be very, very tricky. Obviously, they're in 16th and 17th, so very far off the points position there. So
Uh,
little to do as Zops and John are there battling for the lead. If I can get back up there, they go. Zops trying to go around the outside. He got there. Miyazaki looking to try and get into play. You got Miyazaki chasing up the back of Weber now as Jono kind of has a little bit of breathing room there. So these three are gonna take it to the main straight to see who has the most battery there to try and get past. Obviously, the straight mode as well as all three rear wings does flick up. as Jake get back into the session.
And Zob's going around the outside. That was always going to be an optimistic move there. Just, I mean, you can make a move around the outside of turn one here at Cota. It's a massive turn one, but you do carry a lot of momentum on the downhill of the Phil Hill, named after the first American Formula One world champion of the same name. One of two American Formula One world champions, the other one being Mario Andretti. And we're going to just see how this one pans out. We'll see if we do get a third American World Champion. Probably not anytime soon, as I don't think the only American I think that's in the pipeline to potentially get an F1. Well, there's two of them. You got Colton Herta, and then you got Ugo Ugachukwu. So, that is a real name, or Ugachukwu, I think is actually how it's pronounced. But regardless, pronunciations aside, very good battle up here, right up at the front in the sprint. It is McJammy and Zops and Jono, the Three Musketeers, fighting for that P1 position as they make their way on through. Now, if you're in the position of Zops, then you're kind of in an interesting spot because you, and especially with these regulations, right, with the battery management being as crucial as it is, in some areas, you want to burn the battery to the point where you stay within that 1 second so you can get that fancy blue overtake boost, that Nitrox 2, if you will, for those with extreme elite ball knowledge. But on the opposite side of that coin, you don't want to burn up too much because, I mean, you do have the massive rodeo drive, that massive straight right after turn 11. So you need to save some. But luckily, this section, oh, and Kazuto is actually falling way down the order. I'm not sure what happened there. It seemed like something went wrong coming through Phil Hill. But other than that, Uh, once again, it's just another case of it being a really tame sprint up at the front. You do have some good battling though, but in the back, it's been a little chaotic here in the back. Zops is still fighting with Jono for P1 in the sprint, trying to get the big points before we do another reset to get our one shot quality ready for the final. And don't worry, as much as we were doing karaoke in the Twitch chat earlier, I'm not gonna do the final countdown as a karaoke song. You cannot pay enough channel points to get me to sing, but so we'll see how this one pans out as McJammy is gonna go ahead and just try to close in the gap here. But I think everybody's really just gonna try to save up their energy until I'd say probably lap 9 or 10 is probably when we're gonna really see everybody just deploy every ounce of that ERS that they have.
Yes, so very good start. Obviously, got the top three still fighting out. You got Lamb kind of on his own, and then you've got Pop Top, Katusha, and everyone else kind of just on their own with their own little gaps there. So you got Zombie a little bit far behind. So yeah.
Yeah, so as we do see here, now actually a lot of the packets are really closed up here. There's a few different battles here. And I know actually back up to the front. And once again, these three are just kind of in their own little conga line as they continue to fight. And we're going to see here which of these cars does come out top. Jono does have some pretty good pace, but you do have Zops really just piling on the pressure here in Div 1 as the two Aston Martins will switch places a bit further back. Big Level gets ahead of Andre, and those two are actually going to fight out for a position. Oh, we do have a yellow, and oh, that is Jays again having a tough moment. It's been a tough beginning of the season for the reigning overall champions, as Jade will drop now down to P21. He's had a tough sprint race. Hopefully the feature will be better for the Alpine driver. It's just been a really tough sprint for the Alpine. So jumping back up
Yeah,
here to the front, it is still a very tight fight between the top three.
yeah. I mean, it's just it's rough to see it sitting here in the comments box as obviously the Alpine team principal, obviously with the absolute success we had last season, mainly in the second half of this uh, season to kind of grow out that gap to Mercedes. So hoping for a little bit more of a comeback in the later few weeks, obviously, as well as the sprint race as well, to just try and pick up the points. But very unlucky to what has happened with Gage there, who is now sitting 21st. As Andre there has lost a couple positions, he may have actually just found that he may have done so, maybe making a little bit of contact with someone there. But yeah, it is very upsetting to see that. But I do hope that these boys can make the performance up next or in the future race and the next few weeks coming up.
Yeah, and I mean, it's gotta be tough because I know back when Dito used to be in the comms box many a season ago, I know it was really tricky to watch anything happen to any of the Williams drivers back in the day. So I can understand, and I I feel for you guys as TPs who jump in as commentators because you see that your drivers, like, I mean, look at this. Your drivers just getting really, really dicey. Fat Cat, Batman Jr., aka Ryan Adair, and Bailey scrapping it out. You see tight moments like that, and I mean, I know Ryan is the Ferrari TP, but if I was the Ferrari TP, I would probably have a very high blood sugar watching this race. I would probably my high blood pressure. There you go. My blood pressure would be through the roof watching this. Just I would be absolutely stressed watching how this one plays out. It's tough. And as Zops and Jono scrapping out for position, here we go. And of course, I'm not going to get a decent cam to really show this one off here. So here we go. This is going to be a fight here. And look at this side by side, riding on board with McJammy as he pretty much does a front row seat. Did battle a little bit of contact between Jono and Zops. A little bit of contact through and through goes Zops. He will retake the lead here on the penultimate lap of the sprint. And oh, look at Jono going at it, getting feisty as well. So, Noah, I'm going to pass off the final lap of the sprint to you.
All right, so you've got Zops, Jono, and Miazzi all fighting for that lead. You've got Jono and Miazzi there picking up a nice slipstream from one another. Obviously, going into turn one, all order stays the same. Miazzi, they're opting for a slightly different line. You've got Weather and Lamb, who's losing quite the handful of positions there. So maybe his tires have warmed off just a bit. Obviously, he'll be fighting for P8 there with Dino the Williams PP. So try and pick up a point there for him. Obviously, Zombie, his teammate, battling for fourth right now as he gets right through on Pop Top. Can he keep it stick? Oh, there's a bit of clash, and he actually spins. It has a little bit of a half slide there as I'm just watching him now. But back up in the front, you've got Jono overtaking, side by side, getting past the McLaren of Zobbs there. Zobbs is going to have a look down the inside. You've got Mayasi maybe looking down the inside as well. As Jono there has a little bit of a lock up. You've got, goodness, almost practically almost three wide going into the next couple, next corner. As Weber has a little bit of slide. Three wide again. Oh my goodness. They're going to try and keep avoid no contact. They may have picked up a little bit of warning there from Jono. But heading now into the next couple corners. Jono does lead now. Miazzi goes around the outside. That works really well as he goes down the inside. But it'll be as Ops and Miazzi going wheel to wheel through the last couple of corners. But it will be Jono who takes the lead. Zops P2 and Miazzi P3 all within 4 tenths of each other. And about 10 seconds later, you've got Katusha, Weber, Zombie, Dito, popped up, and mostly the rest of your grid coming through now.
Yeah,
You got
wow.
Terrence there.
I was just gonna say, wow, what a finish! Like that was arguably the closest three-way finish I have seen in a very long time. So, congrats to the top three. They did exceptionally well there. Really good battle, especially there at the end. I mean, they were giving it everything here on the sprint. So, we're going to go ahead and just run through our sprint results here. As here we go. It is going to be Jono ahead of Zops, Ed McJammy, Katusha, Webba, Zombie, Dito, Bailey, Fat Cat Batman Jr., aka Rhino there. And then we have Kenworth, Lachlan, Swift, Sick Party, Aiden Raiden, Terrence, The Big Levo, Jades, Daniel Rocks, Symphonic, Winter, Kazuto, and Andre rounding off your sprint results. So, a bit of a tough one there. And boy, oh boy, are we going to be in for a big one coming up here. But we're going to go and take another step aside as we have to go ahead and reset the lobby to get a one-shot quality for the feature race. So we're going to go ahead and step aside. But when we come back, it is a one-shot plus 28 laps of racing around the Circuit of the Americas. We'll be back, folks. Alrighty then, everybody. You guys have been waiting oh so patiently, and your patience is about to get rewarded. We are back and ready to go. One shot for qualifying. There's only one bullet in the chamber. Who's going to be quickest on the draw to get that pole position for the feature? So here we go. It's gonna be interesting. It's it's been an interesting night in general. We've had pretty much every sort of issue you could possibly think of, but we are here and we are ready to actually go green for one shot quality, and then it is racing time. So, without any further ado, it is one shot quality. We will see who we get thrown with as the timer ticks out. Everybody better have their setups ready because it is going to be a very quick lap around Cota that will decide our grid for the feature race. Ruckus and Noah Huney in the comms box as per usual for tonight. And Noah, rapid fire. Who's getting pole?
Ooh, I'm no clue. I don't know. Probably Zobs.
All right, so
But
Zobs
we'll see.
is the prediction. Um, I say, and I'm gonna just throw one out here as we go ahead and just go with the Cadillac of Swift. Um, actually, I'm gonna say it's Meowsy. I don't think it's gonna be McJammy.
Mm.
I think it's gonna be McJammy. Well, Big Levo parked in a dangerous location, disqualified.
Yes,
Not
he
grand.
does have a fully ban to serve, so it is the best way to tell them
True.
to serve it. Unfortunate, but
Yeah. So
you know what?
go ahead.
I'll take serving a fully ban like that. I'll take it. Sorry. Um,
Symphonic has been
the
DC'd, which is unfortunate. So that'll be his quality pretty much down the drain. Um, it is worth noting that Jade is under investigation for doing a reset the track, which is likely to result in a. I mean, it's pretty likely to result in a DSQ from the weekend. So that is sprint and feature race. So it's gonna be a tricky one for Alpine. And Big Level obviously starting from the back with his quality ban. It's gonna be a tough time as they come through the last couple of corners. Ooh, is it gonna be? Is my prediction gonna be right? My prediction is right. McJammy takes pole. What do you know? Records does know some wheel, and it's pole position for the Red Bull.
yes, I was too busy trying to invite the symphonic back, but you would not hear my friends. I don't even know.
Uh,
Oh, Zobs is nowhere near the top 10. That's a bit
wow,
underwhelming.
wow, that's
He's must have invalidated. Very
so.
unfortunate.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be McJammy ahead of Ryan Adair, ahead of Zombie. Two Ferraris in the top three. Then it is Jono, Aiden is rated Webber, Jades, Katusha, Lachlan, Bailey, Terrence, Dito, Daniel Rocks, Kazuto, TDR, Symphonic, Symphonic not saying lap time. Then Big Levo, Swift, Kenworth, Zops, and Sick Party getting invalidations. So that is a tough one to swallow. But actually, considering all that, that's actually going to put Big Level up into 17th, I think. Just because it actually treats an invalidation around the on a one shot like a DSQ. So it is actually going to. So actually, it's not as bad as we initially thought. So we're going to just see how this one does pan out. It's going to be 28 laps around the Circuit of the Americas here in Austin, Texas. We're going to see some absolutely champion level battles. And we're going to see a real championship fight being born here. The first championship fight that Texas has seen since the Dallas Cowboys in the 1990s. So we'll see how these drivers go ahead and take to the track. So here we go. It's going to be racing. It's going to be speed. It's going to be a heck of a rodeo. And we are ready for it. Drivers are going to go ahead and get everything just ready as we await. How's your guys' night going so far? I know for a lot of you guys, it's getting pretty late. It's actually getting pretty early here in the U.S. It's almost 7 a.m. So it's getting pretty early here for us, but pretty late for you guys. But here we go. We're about to go ahead and throw down in the Lone Star State. And it is lights out and away we go here for the rodeo, the feature rodeo. As right there does take the lead. The Ferrari jumping up into the lead position out. Now it's going to be a scrap through the rest of the field. Aiden, Raiden, and Webber trying to all fight it out for a position here. And here we go. Aiden Raiden is still also under investigation for the, I think it's not setting lap in sprint quali. But here we go. It's going to be a fight here between these drivers. Everybody just trying to jockey for position in the opening stages. Here's the tires everybody's on to kick things off. Everybody aside from Zops on the hard or on the medium. Zops is on the hard. So he'll be quicker later on in the stint as it is Webba and Aiden scrapping it out for positions. One stop is the predicted strategy according to the Amazon predictions. So we'll see if that's going to be the case or not. Oh, bit of drama. A few lockups here and there. Drivers trying to find these positions and try to settle in for the long rodeo ahead. As McJammy does go ahead and try to just stay on the back of Ryan Adair. And actually, I want to check something real quick. So, I mean, we know how the sprint ended up. We know that. But if we do not count the sprint, then well, actually, this will be the first non-Williams. Actually, in general, regardless, this will be the first non-Williams win. We remember how the season started last season for Jono. He won a majority of the opening rounds, every round that he was present, and then he had the unfortunate incident with his account, and then he was unable to partake in the rest of the Division One season. So he's going to be back with a vengeance. But so far, a pretty well, mostly calm race. The sick party has actually fallen way down to the back of the field. And Kazuto now getting the first track limit pen of the weekend.
Yes, it is good to see that Lamb has turned on the strict track limits. Unfortunately, there for those two drivers who have gotten one. So Lamb pretty much leading the way for now. Miyazaki looking down the inside. He's almost going three wide almost with the other Ferrari there. Zombie as Miyazaki does take the leads now. Is you've got, I believe that was Zombie there who took the off road. Jono sneaking up into third, fighting there about a four car battle at the minute. You've got Aiden as right, who's got impressive quality there. As there's a bit of contact there between I believe that was Lamb and Aiden.
Oh,
What is just happened there? It is a VSC.
oh, I'm
I'm not
barely getting a
sure.
10-second for contact with Lachlan.
Yeah, very interesting considering those two are three places apart. As yeah, that was quite the interesting bit of contact there. Not sure exactly what happened there. As there is a few drivers coming into the pits now. You've got Jade there up into seventh after after starting quite far down the grid. You got Lever there up five there. You got let's look at the position changes. You got Zombie up two who now leads as we went green again. You've got Miyazaki down one, Jono up one, Lambie on two. You've got Aiden through Jade staying where they started. Terrence up three. Daniel Rocks up four. Kazuta up four. Dido up one. Lever up five. Zops up seven. So very good start for him. Swift and Kenworth both up four. Winter Symphonic again. One obviously Symphonic in AI. He will not be coming back unfortunately. You got Sigpie there up three, and then you've got Lachlan Wiggles down 10, Katusha down 12, and Bailey down 11.
Yeah, it's been a tough day in the office for some of these drivers. As Jono is looking one way, looking another. That Williams looks pretty pointy, almost like a mechanical bull. As there is another yellow, I think that's for Katusha. I think Katusha was the cause of that yellow. Sure enough, back to being green once again. As McJammy is going to try to go ahead and close in the gap here to Zombie. Zombie trying to make sure that Ferrari wins one way or another. trying to go ahead and break the streak of Jono, as Jono is going to continue to try to extend his streak as the sick party does go ahead and get the fastest lap of the race here so far. Once again, everybody's still in the mediums. A few drivers did switch now due to having to pit due to damage, with Lachlan and Katusha. Stops being the only driver who started on the hard tire to remain on the hard tire. So, still some good battles throughout the field. McJammy now really trying to reel in Zombie here, trying to lasso him on in. And we'll see if he can do just that here, coming down the rodeo drive in the Red Bull. As we go ahead and see, can he make the dive onto Zombie? Zombie goes defensively, goes on the inside. Good on the brakes. Almost wheel to wheel. Almost a little bit of contact between the two. And right, seeing from Jono's POV, you get the best, pretty much the best view in the house. As Zombie is going to go ahead and try to hold on, positioning his car beautifully for the defense. But you look at Jono, who's trying to get up the inside of McJammy. And that is going to be a tough one here. And McJammy's going to have the inside line. He is forcing the Ferrari wide, but can the Ferrari hold on? It's almost too wide into turn 20. And Jono gets 2 for the price of 1. Jono jumps into the lead of the Grand Prix in true Jono fashion. But look at Zombie trying to make it back around the outside. He makes up Phil Hill, and now coming down to Phil Hill. Bit of a snap there from Jono does give the opportunity to Zombie to make up that position once again. He's back in the lead of the race. McJammy now just hustling Jono through the S's. Dirty air does make this section of the track a bit tough to go through, but in these cars it is a bit more manageable than the 25 spec, because the ground effect is less impactful. But a bit of a snap there from McJammy as well. Gonna give a little bit of separation to Jono and Zombie. John already going for the move, and Bailey has retired. That was in the pits, so that is going to be of no. That's going to be no consequence. You are perfectly okay to retire in the pits. So no harm, no foul there. All of those mean one less potential for Mercedes to score points, but Jono gets forced a bit wide by Zombie. McJammy getting a good view from the back. Look at this here. It's going to be still a fight between these two. Jono does lose the position back, but he's going to try to cut back through. Trying to stick around the outside, but doing it around the outside only works around turn 1 on this track. Sometimes you can make it stick elsewhere, but turn 1 is kind of the main area where just sticking it around the outside works, but so far it's still a very tight battle up here at the front. And Raiden is also joining the party. As the drivers continue on, it is still your top 3 scrapping it out for the top positions on the racetrack, and this is going to be a tight battle between these 3. We've seen Jono and McJammy really fight it out tooth and nail earlier on, but now Zombie is in the mix in place of Zapsu, who's actually up in the P10. So Zombie's having a bit of a strong drive on the hards, but right now it is still Zombie ahead of Jono, ahead of McJammy.
Yeah, so, excuse me, there we do have a yellow flags there. If I can get to who that is Dito there, who's fallen quite a handful of positions there down into 14th there. So very unlucky. I'm not sure what has just happened there, but you've got, if you got Daniel Rocks there, taking towards battling there, Zob's taking the outside line, keeping it nice and clean. Can Zuto get past Daniel Rocks? He does not, but you got Zombie and Jono fighting for the lead again. Jono opting for the outside line. Zombie holding off that inside line, keeping it nice and tight there between the top 3 as they all fall within each other behind one another. Jono looking very, very hasty on the back of that Ferrari's gearbox. Can Jono now get past him into turn 1? Keeps it very nice and clean, and they are still wheel to wheel. Jono does get past You got Jade there fighting with Lamb further back down the field. This is very impressive. Zombie goes right through again, through the S's, keeping it nice and closed off Jono there for making an inside move. Meowsy there just looking for an inside, just for waiting for an opportunity, waiting down as we head into turn 11 now onto the back straight. Jono about 90% or so to burn with that boost mode, so it will most likely get past here. Chasing that slipstream down. And, excuse me, as he chooses right inside, switches the inside, does not make the move at all. And Meowsy there, trying to go down the inside of Jono. Compromises himself a little bit, did Jono. You got down your ox there, Kazuto fighting as well, and you got the Zigblade making a pass Tito, so that penalty obviously looming over Zigblade's head will not be a very good post race.
Yeah, this is going to be a really spicy battle here as we're seeing Jono try to once again stick it up the inside of Zombie, and he does get it through, and he is up into P1 as of now. But once again, Zombie just trying to swing it around town, just bring it around the outside. But look who else has joined the party. Aiden is Raiden is here in the party too. He can really be knocking on the door of a V carb podium here, as that V carb, the number 24, looks very, very, very punchy. And we're going to just see how this one kind of holds on as McJammy is going to try to close in the gap. He is going to go ahead and just try to bring it on in. And we'll see here. Oh, it's going to be a tight one. He's going to run up right to the back. But once again, still going to be a massive, massive drag race down Rodeo Drive. And we'll see who can get the move. There is a bit of separation out between these drivers, but we're gonna see a accordion effect here, just bringing it. It's gonna spread out and then come back in. A bit of an ebb and flow, if you will, between these drivers. Daniel Rocks and Swift trading positions. The two American teams going well to well. Then you have the Mercedes and Kazuto as well. So quite a few fights happening here. You love to see it. Look at this. Daniel Rocks trying to fire. Just try to go ahead and just get on past the Merc of Kazuto, who does have the pen, but jumping back up to the front. McJammy now really just right on the gearbox, or was on the gearbox of Zombie. But now Aina's Raiden is going to be giving the Red Bull some trouble. So Swift gets a 3-second time pen for track limits. So that is going to be very unfortunate there for the Cadillac. Yeah, it is the Cadillac Terrace, and Ryan Adair swapping spots. Dana Rocks now joins the penalty club as well. There's things happening all over this track here, Noah. It's hard to keep a track of everything.
Yeah, there are quite a lot of moves, as I said before. Quite a technical circuit, so quite a few places you can get past. Not, honestly, it is surprising to see quite a few moves there through the first sector, especially through the S's there. So very, very interesting moves happening through there. Obviously, through the on the back straight there with the using the boost mode and the straight mode. See, sector 3 probably the most tricky. Hoping to send some moves down, but you do have Aiden who is pushing down. You've got Meowsy there trying to fight back for the second place. You got Daniel Roxon Swift also picked up a 3-second time penalty. So there's currently 4 drivers on a 3. Do have a 3 seconds as it stands. So it will affect some positions for them, assuming if they can't get the gaps there. But imagine we will be in the pit window through very soon in the next 2 to 3 laps, I would say. So we could see quite a few moves. You got, as I say that, you've got Lamb there coming in, maybe trying to make a little undercut on the cars ahead. As you got Meowsy there going wheel to wheel with Zombie through the first couple of through turns 3 and 4. 3 yeses now as Lamler falls down to almost last place, so he'll be making his position right back up.
Yeah, I mean, this is just intense battling here. The gaps are starting to form. I think it's going to be about lap. I agree. It's probably going to be about lap 12 here for a majority driver. Zops on the other end, who does just get past his teammate. I think Zops will probably. I'm going to say it's going to be lap 14 for Zops, or lap 14 or 15, because he is on a hard tire. He can go a bit further. As actually, Ryan Adair is going to try to go really long on a set of hard tires because he pit in pretty early. Um, is it just me or is the sky getting a little darker here around Cota? I know rain was potentially forecast, but if you that's a big wiggle there from Ryan
It does
Adair.
seem like it. You are right there, Rick. It does seem a little darker in some patches, so hopefully Lamb has made the right call and made quite the early stop. Coming in, obviously Zops there on started on the hard compound tire, so he'll be going a little bit longer, praying for that rain to potentially make its way through the track. So we'll see as Webber is McLaren teammate. As Zop's McLaren teammate comes into the pits, it will be a set of hard spin, Daniel Rocks as well, so and Data as well. So a few more drivers making their way. I imagine we'll see a couple laps. I would imagine this lap or the next lap, we'll see most of these um, top 5, top 8 or so come in. So it'll be so interesting.
Interesting indeed as we continue on with this rodeo that we call the Austin Grand Prix, the United States Grand Prix, the Texas Grand Prix, whatever you want to call it, the Yeehaw Grand Prix, you name it. We are still racing here. Zombie's actually falling a bit off the back of Jono and McJammy. So Jono looking to extend the streak that he has here as Fat Cat is already just starting to make his way through. He does get past Symphonic, who is on those 10 lap old mediums. So he does continue to make his way through. We're seeing some good battles happening throughout the field, some good tightly knit groups. They are spreading out a bit though. But I mean that's kind of normal at this stage of the Grand Prix. Tire offsets are a thing. Pit stops coming in as Daniel does get to move onto Lachlan, who did pit earlier on due to having some damage he needed to get picked up and fixed. McJammy still trying to close in. Zombie's just falling off the pace compared to these drivers as Jays is into the pits. Terrence now going out and picking up a spot, jumping up into the top 6. So, and also I am now hearing that any of these top 3 drivers, if they touch track limits one more time, they can get a 3-second penalty. So, keep an eye on that one because I can really just change the whole dynamic of this race here, Noah.
Yeah, I am told that there is no rain forecasted. I would imagine that will fly over the track or freeze over the track, so it won't be coming anytime soon. So let's hope for those drivers there. As Meowsy there may have picked up a warning there, but you can really abuse the track limits here. So who knows? We'll see. Obviously, Jono running away, or not really running away. You got Zombie a fair ways back now. You've got Zops and Aiden right on the back of that Ferrari. They're chasing down, so we'll see what comes up with that.
John will be the first
And
one to
let's
take a pit stop. Actually, all three of our top 3 decided to take a pit stop now. So Zops will inherit the lead of the race. He is on the hard tire, so he will be going longer as Aiden does opt to extend for a lap. So Jono in the pits, they're all going to go for the hard tires, and this is definitely going to be the one-stop strat for these guys. Unless a VSC comes out, well, we don't have that. We do have Winter getting a 3-second penalty for corner cutting. So that'll be served at the end of the Grand Prix. Unfortunately, it is not one of the penalties you can actually serve in the pits. The 10-second and I think there's a 20-second penalty if I'm not mistaken, but the 10-second you could serve in the pits, and the drive-through obviously you serve, but it's unfortunate you can't spend a 3-second one in the pits.
Yes, it is a bit costly, I feel, but it is sort of semi-fair there that you can't. So obviously, real life F1 doesn't give out 3 seconds. They obviously give out five. As Zombie there retires, not sure what has happened to him. He's just binned it. He's
No.
absolutely lost it. He's absolutely lost. I've just seen
And it's a
a
safety
POV
car.
from Terrence that is going to absolutely bless the McLaren of Zop and Aiden as well as Kazuto. And those who haven't
Oh!
got
And
yet,
Symphonic getting a 10-second for ignoring yellow flags.
as weird because that is an AI vehicle, so I'm not sure what's going on. But yeah, I did just see Zombie there from Terrence's onboard. He was just in the wall. I'm not sure what he's just done. He's obviously lost the rear end or something like that. So, but yeah, going through, I think that is, yeah, after turn 10, so must have just lost the rear ends. Very, very odd.
Yeah, we've seen some weird spots of bending it before, but yeah, I don't know actually. And somehow Aina's rating has actually jumped Zops in the pits. Somehow. Um,
Yeah, I have had that as well, where you are able to jump drivers in the pits. I've had it a lot under safety car, but very interesting. But I don't know if it's a bug or a glitch or if it's just a genuine thing. Maybe because that V Cloud pit garage is a lot later in the pit lane. So, but yeah,
or potentially Zops might have messed up his entry. Because I know you can. Because I know there's different stages, and if you get the timing wrong, you actually can add time to your pit stop. So maybe he got his timing wrong somehow. It's a pretty weird thing. It's a pretty elementary thing, because I mean, for the most part, all you gotta do is just it's a quick time event for the most part. You just turn in when you get to the marker, but we've seen some pretty wacky and bizarre things here. Well, in league racing in general, but here at Rush, we've seen some pretty peculiar things. I mean, that kind of is the name of the game here today. It's just peculiar happenings. I mean, we've had two different sessions where we've had a we've had incorrect settings for two different sessions, so that's already been a bit of a weird one. And then we had a lobby break. Um, So we've just had a lot of stuff happening today, but you know it's never going to be a flawless season for no matter what league it is. Even F1 Esports has tech issues from time to time. So I mean that's just the nature of the beast.
yeah, very interesting there. But the safety car does always spot it. Obviously, you got Aiden there leading as Zolt there picks up a 10-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags as he comes into the pits again. So imagine he's coming to serve it if possible. So he will fall to the back of the grid, I would imagine. So yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean some of these pens are really just heartbreaking. Dobbs is actually having a pretty good recovery drive. He was going to be the driver that benefited the most from the safety car, but unfortunately he just has to serve the penalty. So you might as well just do it under safety car where you just do some damage limitation. So you might as well, as rough as it is. Let's see. Thank you, Mitch, for gifting a tier one sub. So thank you so much for all the support as we are back to. We actually go back to karaoke in the Twitch chat. So, okay. I'm going to put a poll in chat. This is an absolute nonsense poll. This is not going to have any major effect on things, but I think it'd just be a funny question. All right, safety car is coming in this lap. So,
Let's get going very shortly, shall we?
yep, we shall indeed. So, all right, we're gonna go put this in. We're gonna put this in for 5 minutes. I mean, there is only one correct answer to this. The poll's in the chat. If you guys want to have some fun, go ahead and get involved in the poll. There is only one
uh,
correct answer, and I will know. I I I I will know. If you guys picked the wrong answer, then I will be sorely disappointed. As we go ahead and get ready to go. Here are the pens to go to kick things off. And I'm already seeing the wrong answer being put into polls. Like, come on, man. Do you guys doubt Noah's singing voice? You think his singing voice is worse than mine? That's a bit of a stretch. Anyways,
I
we're back
know.
to racing here. We're going to hear these V6 turbo hybrids sing something that I think sounds much better than probably. Oh, there we go. Now we're getting some. Now we're getting somewhere. But yeah, here we go. It is now the. We're in the V6 turbo hybrid sing around Austin, Texas. John and now really trying to close in the gap here to Aiden. And we're going to go ahead and see how this one pans out. Lap 16 out of 28. As Jono is going to go ahead and try to make it 3 for 3 in the Grand Prix format. And I think 4 for 4 overall. So I think Jono is still having a very flawless run here in Rush. Going to go good on the brakes. Going to stay by Aiden is rated. Mick jumping there right there as well. I'm going to be curious about Webber and how Webber is going to go ahead and do. Going to be very curious to see where Weber kind of slots in. Jono goes for the move. He burns the battery. He goes through goes Jono, and once again it is Red Bull on Red Bull violence. This time it's still VCAR versus the main team. And we'll see here. And here's a bit of F1 knowledge. Did you know that there was a season where it was 2008, I want to say, where the sister team of Red Bull actually beat the main Red Bull team in the constructors? Did you know? I think it was 2008.
Let me fact check you on that. um, it was. Hang on, let me get the 2008 results if I possibly can. Where is it? Oh,
They were called
what was it
Toro
called back
Rosso
in the
back
day?
then.
Toro Rosso. It was Toro Rosso. I just don't appear.
Huh.
I might be blind, but interesting. What's the new handling? Yeah, very interesting. I just don't see them on the. It might just be too old on the website. I'm not sure what is going on there.
Okay, so
But yeah, nothing.
I'm just gonna look at this real quick. Yeah, while we got this going on, there is a big battle between the Red Bull and the V car for second place. A few other battles happening going on. Sick Party and Levo battling it out for P12. Zop's trying to make the recovery drive that he knows he can. So this is gonna be a very very fun fight between these guys. So yeah, okay, I did find it. So it was 2008. Toro
Ah,
Rosso
yeah.
did outscore Red Bull in the constructors By how many points? By 10 points. So there you
Oh,
go.
wow.
They were, and I'm gonna hate the fact that I'm gonna say this, but they were P6 and 7.
Oh, okay.
I had to go to I had to go
I
to
see.
I had to go to Wikipedia.
Yeah, yeah, I can see it now. It was called STR Ferrari, as what it was pairing on Ferrari, the official website, compared to obviously Ferrari winning that year's title.
The last time they've won any
Very,
sort of
very,
title, by the way.
yeah, very interesting. Obviously, you got as the lever picks up a 3 second year left flag. I think there might be a bug there. Just depending on our end, I don't see anything going on there. But you've got one, two, three, four, five, six, seven drivers with a penalty. Zops actually be six drivers with a track limit. Zops still having that 10 seconds um, hanging over his head that hopefully he can get served under a safety car. But yeah, very, very interesting there.
Okay, yeah. So it, the pens are kind of a weird thing for that, and also the results of the poll are in, and the answer was that there's two votes in favor of you being better at karaoke, and then one vote in favor of me being better at karaoke, which is the correct answer. It was the correct answer. I 100% believe that Noah would be a lot better at karaoke than I am. I have a commentator's voice. I don't have a singing voice. My parents have a good singing voice, but me and my brother, we do not have good singing voices. So that it skipped a generation.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I haven't done too much karaokeing too
I've never
much,
done
but when I do
karaoke. I've avoided it like the plague.
it,
I used to go
but when
to
I do it, I try. But
I so there was a karaoke bar that was right next to my college when I went, and I did everything in my power to not go up on stage and actually do karaoke, and I succeeded. I did not go up on stage and do a karaoke. This is actually before I even got back into commentary, so it wasn't quite the commentary. Yeah, oh, contact between Aiden and McJammy. Ooh, the contact was pretty rough. Not as rough as my singing voice, but still pretty rough.
you do have that Jono leading the room, leading there 1.7 seconds. He is slowly extending that gap. You do have an actual yellow flag there. I think that may have involved Lever and one or two other drivers there as he falls down quite a few positions. There as Meowsy picks up a 3 seconds. That is
Ooh.
gonna hurt him a lot going into the last 9 laps there. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, we did know that for a while that it was that Jono, Zombie, and McJammy were all on their final warnings for track limits, so we knew it was coming. We just didn't know in which flavor we were going to receive it. Winter was retired in the pits, so Winter is out. So that is retirement number 3 of the Grand Prix here. It is lap 20 out of 28. And then Raiden is going to go ahead and continue on with this battle here. And we'll see if Aiden is rated. I mean, he's going to get a P2, which is a really good result. A really, really good result. So, yeah, we'll take a quick look at the pens real quick. Here's the penalties as it sits. McJamie, Ryan Adair, Kazuto, Swift, and a sick part as well as Katusha and Levo on those 3 seconds. Um, you have Daniel Rocks on 6, and then Zops on 10. So those are your penalties right now. Swift and Daniel Rocks. So it's the battle of the two American brands. I mean, you got the Cadillac taking on the Haas. So and Daniel gets another penalty. So it's now up to 9 seconds of penalties for the Haas reserve. Swift is going to go ahead and just try to make his way Trying to close in the gap to Zops, although Zops does have fresher tires at the moment, so it's going to be a tricky one, but there's also 10 second depends I have to go through, so yeah, it's going to be a bit of a difficult one with 8 laps to go, but Zombie binned it. Just to answer that question, plainly, he had a crash. Um, Actually, I don't even know what corner he crashed at, because I missed it. Noah saw it, and I think he might know what happened.
think it was. I think it was on coming out of turn 10 there. I think he just dropped the rear end. Maybe the tires were a little too worn for him, or something like that, or even possibly the rear end when the tires get too worn. So could be related to setup. Could be related to um, improper telemetry, accelerated and braking. What do you call it? Inputs.
Unfortunate, as we do have a battle between, because I think Kazuda's actually just dropping positions here. Weba and Jades both get pens, pretty much one right after the other. And yeah, now you can see that there's a lot of penalties. I see some carbon fiber flyby, or I might just be imagining things. It might be the 7 a.m. curse of just me being delirious after a 4 hour car drive and then going to sleep for about 4 hours and jumping back up to commentate. I think all that delirium is just hitting me in stride. But you know what? We're going to roll with it. We're going to enjoy the rest of this rodeo here in Austin, Texas. But so, Noah, I mean, I know you're probably learning quite a few tips and tricks how to manage this track.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there are some big do's and don'ts. See where to burn, where to deploy and stuff like that for a quality lap. So obviously I've been putting the practice in my own division. My own race, obviously, hopefully Druzilla as well as getting the practice, as well as Div 2 tomorrow. Hope those boys are getting the practice. But yeah, no, it's been good, I think. Um, but no, it's a good circuit. I think most of the boys are really excited to race here for the rest of the boys here.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of league racing, right? Is that you can pick up some things and you can learn how to do some things. You can get some tips for either your own just personal races that you do for online public lobbies, which, well, I'm sorry for your loss if you do public lobbies. I know those basically lawless wastelands. Those are the real wild west of F1. But you can learn some things that you can take into your other league races, your other divisions. Because Noah, I know you have a race later on this week, so I know you'll take some stuff that you might have learned from this race into that one, and maybe try to help Alpine in the overalls and in your constructors standings in Div 3. I think you got promoted up to Div 3. You were Div 5 last season, but we don't have Div 5 anymore, and I think you did get promoted at a Div 4. So, but anyways, uh, semantics. We're gonna continue on with the racing here as the top three have spread out now. Jades is gonna try to close in the gap here. We'll see if we have any other really tightly knit battles. Here we go. Here's a battle of the lower reaches of the Rush Racing Grand Prix points. Katusha, Kenworth, Kazuto all fighting for position. Dino just right there in the midst as well. And then we're going to see here as Katusha is going to go in and make the dive. Here trying to get done, but the Mercedes does wash a bit wide. It's been a tricky day in the office for Merck. As Katusha's fighting that Audi left, right, and center. As Kazuto is going to go in and just try to make the move stick. It's going to be a tricky one, but we can say howdy to the Audi as it passes Kazuto. Cameron's now trying to get the move done on to that Merc as well in the Aston Martin. So we'll see what he can do here. Bit of a wiggle there on the corner exit from Dito as well. So good fights back here in the back. Good fights up here towards the front. with Webber trying to chase down Aiden, but he does have Jades and Terrence, which are going to be more immediate threats here in this race. As we got 5 laps to go, Noah.
Yes. Um, you obviously do have Jono leading, so I think at his current stage, Jono will be continuing his win streak here in Division 1, just how he left off last season for having issues and whatnot. Obviously, you're Meowsy behind with that 3 second pen. I do believe Jonah and Aiden there, both on their last warning, maybe 2 warnings to go. So we'll see if maybe one of them or two, both of them will pick up a late race pen as you got Lachlan Wiggles and Danny Rocks there battling for that 10th position. Danny Rocks opting for the outside line. Keeping it nice. Stick Party there joins the party there. Maybe you could even put a little stick party for him. You got Danny Rocks there leading from Lachlan Wiggles and Stick Party. You got the other alley of Katusha slowly curling ahead. Lachlan Wiggles is obviously going to gain the position on him for now. See, on the medium tires, though, those mediums may be a bit worn for now, but you've got Jades still on the back of Weber there, trying to chase him down. It's really the only battle in there within the top 5. So we will see what happens there as Terrence there picks up a 3 seconds. So unfortunate, that is very unfortunate for him because now from 4th down to 8th and then 10th, obviously he's got to have that 10 second. I don't think he might have. No, he just has the 10 second. Danny Rocks on the 9. So everyone except Zops there within that 4th to 10th does have a track limits violation.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty difficult now with about a lap or 3.5 laps to go here at the Circuit of the Americas. And it is going to be a real fire as Jades is now right up on the back of Webber. It is the Papaya Machine versus the French Machine as the Alpine is going to try one way, try another, maybe go for a move. It's going to be tough. It's going to be difficult. There's no real easy way through. Oh, whoa! What is happening here? I think Ryan Adair and Terrence had a bit of a moment coming through turn 19. Yeah, it's turn 19 is a pretty tough one. The last 2 corners are really like Austria's turns 9 and 10. You carry a good amount of momentum into them. Very easy to get track limits. Webber and Jay now side by side coming through the Lone Star S's. Here we go. Oh, we're going to see a change of position. We see a little bit of contact between the Alpine and the McLaren, though. So we are seeing that they are absolutely scrapping it out with everything they got. They know that this is pretty much going to be a fight for their lives here. Although we do know that Jades is impending a DSQ, but he is still going to go ahead and fight with every fiber of that Alpine's being every carbon fiber of that machine is going to be put to good use trying to get past Webber here. As actually McJamie has closed up to Jono a little bit, so this could be a battle in the making, especially if one of them gets a pen. Jades now. He does get past Webber finally, but it'll be a battle of the pens when they come through. Katusha and Lachlan fighting it out just behind, and as we get ready to head on to the penultimate lap, I'm going to pass this one back to you, Noah, and I'll take the final. Over to you. As Ryan Adair does get a 3 second track limit violation added on, so it's been a tough day in the office for the Ferrari TP. As Jono is going to go to try and make his way through. We'll see if he can go ahead and hold on to that gap. As just everybody just pretty much still stuck on pens. So this order could really change drastically as we get to the ending stages of the race. So It is the penultimate lap here of the United States Grand Prix here in Austin, Texas. At the Circuit of the Americas, the first sprint weekend almost in the books. Kazuto does get the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. So a very good result there for the Merc. Daniel Rock's getting even more pens. I think if he gets too many more, he might actually get dropped from the session. He might get DSQ'd as he goes as it gets past Katusha. And, ooh, it's going to be a tight one here. He's going to go ahead and just try to close in the gap. See if he can try to maybe get past Katusha on track. I think he still might be within a shot of getting points, but he's got so many penalties that he might just drop outside the point. Oh, and he just contact and just basically muscles the Audi out of the way. And that is dramatic contact here. That's probably going to get looked up by the stewards, and that's a bit of a spin there for Katusha. A little bit of a spin there as we do begin the final lap of the Grand Prix. McJamie has reeled him in, but unless Jono gets a pen here, even if he does pass the Williams driver, it is going to be 3 for 3 for the Williams driver. And he has pretty much just won everything so far this season, but McJamie could win it on track, but he'll lose out to pens anyway, so this is going to be a real battle of wills here. Unless Jono makes an uncharacteristic error as well. I mean, anything can happen here, but with about half a lap to go, it's going to be make or break time here in the Grand Prix. As we will probably have to... I'm going to probably refund that request for the interview because it's a bit late for that. Here's a quick glance at the pens as we come through. We begin our journey into Sector 3. Swith and Fat Cat Jr. are going to go ahead and fight it out. That is Ryan Adair, a.k.a. XD Lamb, and Swith scrapping it out for position. But then as we come through the final few corners here, it is going to be Jono ahead of McJamie. And Jono will go ahead and continue the streak. This ain't his first rodeo, and it's not his first time on the top step of the podium. Jono wins the United States Grand Prix ahead of McJamie, and then Aiden's Raider will round out the podium. And there we go. That is our podium set, done and dusted here. Jades ahead of Webber, ahead of Fat Cat, ahead of Swith, and then Terrence. Well, actually, Fat Cat, Batman Jr., a.k.a. Rhino there, will slander Fat Cat Sr.'s name by dropping all the way to P8 due to pens. And then Daniel Rock's dropping. Does he stay within the points? He's right on the cusp. Does he stay within the points? Yes, he does. Just barely. Right on P15. And then that is going to be the end of the race. But Jono taking another win in the books. And what a win it was. Very well deserved. Very well driven race. So, very, very nicely done there. We're going to go ahead and go through the podium ceremony as Jono does pick up another win here on the day. And so there we go. It's going to be a victory celebration for the Williams as they go ahead and celebrate their hard-fought race win. Here are your superlatives. It is going to be Kazuto taking the fastest lap drive day, and most overtakes belongs to Zops, with Dito being the cleanest driver. So here we go. Jono ahead of McJamie, ahead of Aina's Raiden, Jades, Webber, Swith, Terrence, Fat Cat Batman Jr., a.k.a. Ryan Adair, and then we have Dito, Zops, Kenworth, Lachlan, Katusha, Sick Party, Daniel Rocks, The Big Levo, Kazuto, Symphonic, Winter, Zombie, and Bailey rounding out your results here. So we're going to go ahead and jump straight onto the interviews, and we shall see who do we have here. Right now we just have Jono,
a race winner,
and our sprint race winner as well. So We'll give it a minute to see if we get anybody else. But in the meantime, yeah, we can go and actually get the interviews kicked off with our race and sprint winner. So, Jono, the perfect streak
Hello.
continues, my friend. How does it feel to get pretty much a sprint and a Grand Prix win here in Cota?
Yeah, it feels good. Sprint win probably. Yeah, it was a bit. It got a little bit feisty for the win, I will say. Um, but yeah, it was just kind of managing. I didn't have the best pace today, to be honest. So I was kind of on the back foot the entire time. Yeah, it was kind of just trying to survive in the top three, really. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but I guess it worked out in the end.
I know it's been a long night here, so we won't keep it too much longer. Next week we are heading to Zandvoort. How do you feel about Zandvoort coming up?
I haven't done it for a while, so it's gonna be interesting.
All right. Well, congratulations on the race win and the sprint win, and I'll pass you over to Noah if he's got any other questions or comments.
Thanks, mate.
Um, just quickly, John, congrats on your win as well as your dominant win streak so far in the season. Initially, what was? Let me just think of the question. A bit lost there at the minute, but I just have one question for you, and that is, well, mine's gone blank.
You're all good.
I can't think of it. It'll come back to me. But I just want to ask you one question, but and my brain
It's
is
too late.
losing it after such
Too
yeah,
late.
my brain is losing it after such a long night.
Yeah.
So, but usually get back to you on that, but we'll see.
All right. We're gonna go and move on to P2, the reigning Div 1 champion of Meowsy. Now, Meowsy, it's been a long night for you here, so it's been a pretty tricky race. How do you feel about your results here tonight?
I felt like I had good pace. Um, well, kind of. Whenever I didn't have damage, I was like a boat, and as soon as I got damage, I locked in. So I unfortunately got damage trying to pass Aiden as Raiden, and as soon as I got that, I was somehow quicker than Jono. I don't really know how that happened. I don't think there was a single point after I got past Aiden that I had over 50% battery as well. So yeah, I think I had good pace, easily enough to challenge for the win, but as shown by my overtakes or my attempts on trying to get past Aiden, my car was a complete boat when trying to go for moves. It just kept on the steering. I would have had little to no chance of getting past Jono if I had the opportunity to. It was a bit unfortunate. The sprint was kind of similar. I just felt like if I tried to go deep, I would just inevitably lock up into someone. I didn't have any confidence on the brakes. Even at 57 BB, it would still be front locking. So yeah, it was pretty bad. And 57 is usually like the sweet spot.
You
So
tried 58.
I tried 58 on Aiden, and he died. So I won't do that again. Yeah. So the sprint was kind of similar. I don't really know what happened. I'll need to look back at it, but I was a bit. The only thing that I was really happy about was my switchback on the last lap. Unfortunately, that didn't come to anything, but at least like I aura farmed for a bit. But that's about my entire race. Just a bit annoying with where I was on track, but overall good race pace apart from that.
Yeah, I mean, I know sometimes trying to find the right set of the right brake balance can be a very tricky thing. So overall, you got some pretty good points for Red Bull. Next week it is Zandvoort. How do you feel heading to the Netherlands?
I mean, good because you don't need a safe battery, so you can just lock in and be quick. So I don't like the battery on this game, as you can probably tell. So
Yeah.
um, Texas is one of the tracks I like because how much you save in Sector 3, you can just burn it all in Sector 1 and 2 and still be fine. So yeah, hopefully good.
All right. Well, congratulations on the podium, and I'll pass you over to Noah, if he's got any other questions or comments.
Yeah. So firstly, I'm just congratulate you on the back-to-back podium for you, both in the sprint race and the feature. Overall,
Thanks.
how was the pace going into Texas? Did you feel that you had the pace good enough for both the sprint pace as well as the race pace as well as obviously quality as well?
Well, yes and no. I know I had a lot of quality pace, just from practice. I like practicing quality. I don't really like doing race practice much. I knew my PB was a 31-1, so I was a bit annoyed that I didn't really get too close to it in either session, but that was on a race up and on quali set, so that probably does explain it. But yeah, I felt like I had decent enough pace for the race. Obviously, my confidence for quali is a lot higher than the race, so it was just a matter of, for the sprint at least, trying to build up my confidence while staying in P3. Try not to get myself involved, but unfortunately, when I made some tweaks going into the race, and those were not the right tweaks. I just kept on having moments, not just moments, but like if I like broke slightly too deep, usually in the sprint it would be fine, but I would have to like basically tweak out to try and not kill someone. So
It's like
yeah,
the nature of the track, I swear to God.
yeah, probably like the high fuel as well.
Yeah.
It was very boaty.
Yeah.
I think the Titanic had more maneuverability trying to avoid that iceberg, honestly.
But that is all the questions I have for you. Yeah. Once again, congratulate on on your back-to-back podiums there. But I will
Thank
hand
you.
over to Rekus for the third and final spot on the podium.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and talk to. We're gonna go ahead and talk to one Aiden Desraden, who rated his way up to a podium. Now, Aiden, qualifying in the sprint wasn't exactly great for you, but you did bring it back in the feature race itself. How would you rate your weekend overall?
I mean, sprint was a bit of a throwaway because of the qualifying and the settings being completely unfair, but I'll brush over that. So didn't really care much about the sprint. Yeah, for the race, it was just like so much luck, really. I had Zombie who was ahead of me, bin it, give me a safety car. I just go ahead to Jono as it came out, and then Zops got loads of penalties, so he wasn't a threat. And then yeah, everyone around me, or everyone around me got 3-second penalties, but it didn't really matter. So it wasn't under much threat. It was just luck, really.
Yeah, and Coda's a very technical track where if you have the pace, you can really make up ground, but sometimes it's just a bit of a tricky one to get right in qualifying. There's a lot of places to get track limit pens. Next week we're into a track that is also kind of a 50-50 when it comes to pens, but we are heading to Zanford next week. How do you feel?
I have no idea, mate. I haven't driven it at all.
All right, well, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Once again, congratulations on the podium, and I'll pass you over to Noah if he's got any other questions or comments.
All right. Congratulate firstly on your podium, Aiden. I've got no further questions for you, but yeah, that is all. Just want to congratulate on a fantastic podium and I wish you the best of luck for Zandvoort next week.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to go ahead and wrap things up, I believe. So we're just going to go ahead and send this one off into the sunset, but it's been a long night here of racing at the Circuit of the Americas. But Noah, any final thoughts before we close this one up?
Nothing from me, but that is all. Yeah, just but it'll be quite the long night for me. So, but yeah, nothing else.
Yeah, it's been a long night. So thank you guys so much for sticking with us through all the trials and tribulations we had here tonight. I know it hasn't exactly been smooth sailing. We went over some pretty rough waters here. It's been a tricky rodeo to really rope on in, but in the end, we got through it. We had some good fun, good racing across the board. But yeah, that's going to go to wrap things up. Thank you guys so much for tuning on in. Once again, thank you guys for your patience. Massive shout out to Sim Racing Center, SimLab, and Pagnian Advanced Simulation, our fantastic sponsors. Thank you for everybody who tuned in tonight through everything. And we still have 3 more rounds of Austin, Texas to go. And then we have F2 on Friday, a reserve program on Thursday. And then next week we'll be heading to Zandvoort. But to get to there, we have to go to wrap this one up. So on behalf of Noah, my name has been Patrick Coleman, aka Rekus, and we've been your hosts and commentators for tonight's action. Stay hydrated, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Good night.